All right, today we're going to tackle a massive challenge, one that pretty much every big project has to deal with, whether you're building software or, I don't know, launching a rocket into space. It's a really simple question, but the answer? Not so much.
I mean, really think about this. You've got this one side of the coin where businesses need some predictability, right? They have to make plans, they have to invest money, but then you flip it over, and the very act of creating something new, of innovating, is just messy and full of surprises. So, how on earth do you connect those two worlds?
Well, if you ask the folks behind the Scaled Agile Framework, the answer is a really powerful tool for getting everyone on the same page. It's called Program Increment, or PI objectives. Think of it as creating a shared language for what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so the official definition is pretty straightforward. PI objectives are just high-level summaries of what a team is setting out to do in a certain amount of time, usually somewhere between 8 and 12 weeks. But honestly, the real secret sauce, the magic, is in what they aren't. And this right here is maybe the most important takeaway of this whole thing. A feature is the output. That's the what you're building, the tangible thing. But a PI objective is the outcome. It's the why you're doing the work in the first place. It's about the impact you want to have. Shifting from what to why literally changes the entire conversation. So why is that little shift from what to why such a big deal? Because it's how you crack that predictability puzzle. And maybe even more important than that, it's how you build trust. Yeah, this quote right here, it just nails it. In any big project, trust is the fuel that keeps the engine running. When teams can clearly say what they're going to do and then actually do it over and over, you build this bedrock of reliability that the whole company can stand on. And once you have that trust, man, it unlocks so much. Suddenly, business folks and tech folks are speaking the same language. Everyone knows what to focus on in the short term. You can see exactly how each team is adding to the bigger picture. And maybe best of all, you spot potential problems and dependencies way earlier. It's a whole system for alignment. All right, so we get what they are and why they're so important. But how do you actually write one? A good one that isn't just a bunch of vague corporate speak. Let's get into the mechanics. Well, the trick is to make them SMART. It's an acronym, and each letter is basically a little check you have to run. Is it specific enough? Is it measurable? Like, do we know what done looks like? Is it actually achievable for the team doing the work? Is it realistic, or are we just pretending everything will go perfectly? And finally, is it time-bound? Can we get it done in this PI? This simple checklist turns a fuzzy wish into a concrete target. Okay, now this next part is, in my opinion, the most powerful and kind of subtle piece of this entire system. This is the real game changer that lets you make promises while still being honest about uncertainty. So during planning, you split your goals into two buckets. First, you've got your committed objectives. These are your promise. The team is saying, we will do everything in our power to make this happen. These are what you're measured on. But then you have your uncommitted objectives. This is for work that has a lot of question marks around it. Maybe you depend on another team or you're using brand new tech. It's not a promise, and if you don't get to it, it doesn't count against you. I love this analogy. Think about it like you're planning a big road trip. Your committed objectives are the main cities you promised everyone you'd visit. You have to get to the Grand Canyon. The uncommitted ones, those are the cool-looking roadside attractions or scenic detours. You'd love to see them, you'll plan for them, but if you hit a ton of traffic, you can skip them without breaking your core promise. Now hold on. It's super important to understand this isn't just a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's actually the opposite. Having uncommitted objectives makes the team more reliable on their main promises. It gives you a built-in buffer for when things go wrong, which, let's be honest, they always do. It makes the whole plan more resilient, right? So a commitment here isn't like signing a contract in blood where you're punished if you fail. It's more like a vote of confidence. The team is saying, we're all in on this, we believe we can do it, and, this is the key, we promise to scream for help the second we think it's in trouble. That kind of honesty is what builds real trust. Okay, so this all sounds great for one team, right? But what happens when you're trying to align, hundreds or even thousands of people on a single massive project? How does this scale up? See, this is the cool part. It doesn't start with some executive handing down orders. It's a bottom-up process. During a big planning event, each and every team, the people who are actually doing the work, they look at the big picture and create their own SMART objectives.
This is where they decide what's committed and what's uncommitted, based on the reality they see on the ground.
So, once every team has their plan, the next step is to roll them up. All those individual team plans get combined and summarized into one single set of objectives for the whole group, which is called an agile release train. Just think of it as a team of teams. And just like that, you've got a single clear picture of what the entire program plans to achieve, built from the ground up.
And you can take this even further. For those massive, mind-boggling projects, we're talking building a new airplane or a satellite. You can roll it up again into what's called a solution train. What's so amazing about this layering is that it creates this perfectly clear line of sight from the one task a single person is working on all the way up to the most important strategic goals of the entire organization.
So, after all that work, all that planning and talking and aligning, what's the big payoff? What's the bottom line business benefit that makes this whole thing worth it?
2 words: intense focus. The official recommendation is that a single team should have only about 7 to 10 committed objectives for an entire program increment. That's for like 3 months of work. That's it. And I know what you're thinking. That sounds like nothing. But that's the whole point. It forces everyone, from the team to the executives, to have really tough conversations and decide what's truly the most important thing to do right now. It slashes the amount of work in process, stops people from trying to do 10 things at once, and massively boosts the odds that you'll actually deliver on the things that matter most. At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Having honest conversations about finding that perfect balance between making promises and accepting reality. And it kind of makes you think, right? In your own work, whether it's just you or a team of 1,000, where's your line between commitment and flexibility?